Hey everyone, Tyler here. I'm going to go ahead and take you through my first mobility drill exercise here. So you're going to need a foam roller for this exercise. If you don't have a foam roller, that's okay. We're going to do some things without a foam roller, but I like to incorporate the foam roller. It makes it easier for some of the exercises. This is just a nice high density foam roller. Don't ask me the length of it, 36 inches? I don't know. Maybe. Sure, let's say that. Mine's from Amazon Basics, so you can kind of get them from anywhere. Now's the time to order if you want. Anyway, with that being said, let's go ahead and start with some mobility exercises. Now, for mobility work, the goal here is to move within a range and try and increase that range. Mobility work helps to warm the tissue, increase blood flow, and helps to prime the tissue for your workout or just help you move better, feel better, right? So throughout the day when we're seated, tissue can get sticky and stuck, especially if we don't use it or if it's overused, which we can talk about that more later. But for this, all intents and purposes, we're just going to try and feel good, move the body to keep you functional here. So we're going to focus on 3 different areas. We're going to focus on T-spine, hips, and then foot and ankle, which are the 3 most important areas in the body to really move. There's other areas as well that we could talk about, but we'll just focus on this for right now. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start in a nice little child's pose. With my foam roller right in front of me. We're going to focus on thoracic spine and shoulder mobility to begin. This is a nice, easy work to begin. So we're going to focus on that child's pose. Hands are going to come out front. I like to do thumbs up. You can do palms down, whatever feels best for you. Now, earlier I had talked about breath work, and so we're going to use breath to help guide the movement. This is not only going to help us increase that blood flow and range of motion, but it's going to help us tap into that parasympathetic nervous system. So we're helping to de-stress, which is going to really help us to move better. It's going to help our body relax. So after all is said and done, you'll be ready to take a nap, maybe. Or you'll be energized to actually do your workout. Whatever you need. Here we go. So, taking your foam roller, we're taking a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to push the foam roller away, dropping, leading with the heart, the chest, the head, towards the floor, reaching nice and wide. Now, if you'd like, you can drop your head all the way to the floor, forehead to the floor, whatever feels best for you. We'll take a nice big inhale, deep into the belly, feeling the back body expand. Exhale, relax. One more inhale, exhale. As we exhale, we'll come back up. And that's our first time. We're going to do this 4 to 6 more times for yourself. So nice big inhale again. Exhale, send it away, reach long, creating tension through the hands, shoulders, upper back, drop the head. Easy here, continue to breathe. And now, while you breathe, you may notice that your hips are starting to relax. Maybe your inner thighs start to open a little. Depends on what your child pose looks like. We'll come back up. Good. I'm going to do this one more time, but you are going to do this 3, maybe 4, however many times you need, right? So if you'd like, now's the time to Good time to pause the video. Or you can just let it roll, whatever you need. Now, one of the things you may notice is that I'm really going nice and slow. And, oftentimes when we're thinking of a warm-up, we're thinking like, oh, gotta move, gotta get going, right? But tissue doesn't respond that way, right? It takes the nervous system and the muscular system, the circulatory system to really kind of all come together and get moving as one, So it's really important that we move slowly and with intention, again, following that breath, because that's really going to benefit us more if you're just going to go back and forth. No, don't do that. Okay. So that was on a little kind of thoracic extension and also shoulder extension overhead. Okay. Now we're going to do a nice little flexion and extension. This one I'm going to use the foam roller. Again, option, you can always just use the floor, focusing on a nice little arch and flexion and extension of the T-spine. Now with this one, it's kind of, you could do a cat-cow as well if you're familiar with that, if you like to be on all fours, so hands and knees. But I really find this one to be really good, especially if you have low back pain. Nice little low back opener, and which is sometimes surprising for people. So, you're also going to feel your core work during this one. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and come down onto our back here. You're going to bring the foam roller. For the ladies, this one's an easy one. You're going to place it about bra strap height. For gentlemen, you're going to think just below chest, kind of in the upper back, or just below shoulder blades for you. We're going to go ahead and place our hands behind our head. That's going to give us a relaxed our thoracic spine, which is key here. Now, we're going to get movement through, our cervical, excuse me. We're going to get movement through our thoracic. I was thinking ahead. Through our thoracic, but we're also going to get movement through that lumbar as well. So we're thinking cervical, thoracic, and lumbar. So using that breath, here we go. We're going to take a nice big exhale. We're going to think inhale. As you inhale, you're going to expand the ribs and you're going to let the head drop back. So a big inhale as far as you can. And then almost I want you to think about peeling the elbows wide. As we exhale, we're going to find our deep crunch. You're going to pull your belly button into your spine. You're almost going to round your back into the floor. Chin starts to tuck. Feel free to pull your elbows in if you'd like. And then again, leading with the breath, finding that big inhale. Opening everything up. I found my exhale. Hold on. Exhale. Pull the belly in. Feeling that nice deep stretch to the low back here. And now your foam roller might move on you, so that's okay. So feel free to adjust as you need. Big inhale. Oh, yes, this feels good. You may crack your back as well. That's totally okay. And exhale. And again, you're going to get movement through all three areas of the back. So that lumbar, thoracic, and cervical, which is good. We need it. We need it. Okay. 3 to 4 more times for yourself. I'm going to do one more time for myself. So again, if you want, now's a good time to pause the video. Oh yeah. Already feeling pretty good. Okay. Awesome. So there was 2 moves to your upper body. We're going to do lower body now for your hips. So we're going to take the foam roller, set it off to the side. Okay, this one's one of my favorite ones. I'm going to kind of be on an angle here. This one I like to incorporate into my own yoga practice, but also kind of in a warm-up. This one's going to be really good for the groin, inner thighs, opening up the hips, and your thoracic spine as well. So it's kind of a 2-for-1. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees here, and we're going to take our foot out to the side. And I'll show you both sides here just so you can see. So hands come onto the inside of the foot. My back knee is nice and soft. Now, if you're having issues with this, you can take 2 yoga blocks to come up a little higher if you have them. You could use a pillow or anything else if you want to come higher. Say if you don't have that hip mobility. Now, when we do this, we don't want to experience any pain. Okay, so you may feel a nice deep stretch. There's a difference, but we don't want to go too deep into the stretch. We just want to go into a slight stretch here. Okay, so on a scale of like 1 to 10, we want to go like a 5, 6, maybe 7. Okay, you're like, but I don't feel it. I want to really get into it. Sometimes not always the best. Okay, so just so you know. Okay, anyway, so we're here. Okay. Hands by our side. We're going to take, now this is my right foot, right elbow. So I'm going to take my right elbow and I'm going to try and take my right elbow into the inside of my foot. So I'm going to push my hips forward, driving the elbow down, not really, kind of just guiding. Now from here, I'm going to take a nice big inhale and I'm going to open up right hand towards the ceiling as I rotate. And then I'm going to exhale, dropping that elbow towards the inside of the foot. Nice big inhale. Okay, there was 3. Now you can continue to the other side. I'm going to quickly switch just so you can see different angle here. So again, this is my left foot. So hands on the inside. I'm going to take that left elbow inside. Open up. Oh, nice big stretch. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Nice big inhale. And coming down, and we can repeat both sides. So it's going to be a nice one for a thoracic spine and your groin here. Inter thighs. What? Okay. One more that we're going to do for your inner thighs. Okay. Not really inner thighs. I don't know why I just sang either, but whatever. Okay. For your hips here is we're going to make a nice little zigzag on the floor. And we're going to focus on that internal, external rotation a little. And we're going to really focus on the hip socket. Now, everyone knows that your hips, well, hopefully you know, that your hips are a very mobile joint. So you've got your hip socket here. Imagine this hand, and this is the top of your femur bone. It goes in like this. And so you can get some rotation here, right? Oftentimes there's a lot of ligaments and a lot of muscle that surrounds this, and that's a good thing. Keeps it stable. However, sometimes it can get stuck, and so we want to create that movement, that mobility to help you. Okay, so we're going to focus on taking our hands by our side. Now again, some people are going to have some difficulty here depending on your mobility and flexibility, so just making any effort to be as comfortable as possible. So we're going to focus on, this is my left hip, we're going to focus on pushing the hip forward and pulling the hip back into the floor. So pushing the hip forward, I'm keeping this right hip bone on the floor, pull it back. Push forward, pull it back. And we're going to continue with that. Now I'm going a little fast here, so let me slow down a bit. And I realize this is 15 minutes, it's going to be a little longer than 15 minutes, or maybe the video will be longer than 15 minutes, but that's okay. And so really what we're doing is we're getting that internal, external rotation. We're starting to get that head of the femur to really rotate in the socket, starting to loosen up those ligaments and musculature around, which is going to be really important here. Good, so let's switch to the other side. Now this one I'm not really following my breath, although it is important still. Just being conscious that you're not holding on to your breath. If you need to be like me, you can sing through it a little. I don't know what you would sing, but whatever your favorite tune is at the moment. We got some good music coming out, so, you know, whatever you want. Good, so again, now this side's a little harder for me, so just being conscious and aware of that, right? We all have kind of one side that feels more like yours. This one's more like Tin Man over here, a little stiff. But our goal is to hopefully start to increase that range as we continue this. Oh yeah. Perfect. There you go. Okay, so you can do that on both sides if you want. You can repeat it as many times. Not too many though, don't overdo it here. But just a couple times and wow, do I already feel good. Okay, that was 2 for the upper back, 2 for the hips. We're gonna do 2 for the foot and ankle. Okay, now a lot of people are like, ugh, feet, why are they important? There's something that the industry, in my opinion, kind of forgets about, but they are so vital and important to how you move, right? You have 26 bones in your foot, 26. And that's a lot considering how much we as humans are standing on our feet, right? Like I'm 178 pounds. It's like, that's a lot of weight standing on a joint. Joints, multiple, okay? So it's really important that we really focus on the ankle and getting the feet to move. So, here we go. First thing that we're gonna focus on is opening up the bottom of the foot. Okay, so I like to do this exercise. So we're gonna go ahead and try and tuck the toes as much as possible. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna send our hips back. Now this might feel nice like quad stretch as well. Maybe a 2 for 1 here, 2 for 1. And we're just gonna kind of go up and down. Squeeze the glutes, push the hips forward, nice and tall. We're gonna slowly send the hips back as we start to feel the bottom of the foot start to stretch a little. Now this isn't too intense, and like I said before, you don't need to go 0 to 100, right? You're still gonna get benefits even if you do 50%. And it's surprising. The body is an amazing machine. So this is really focusing on what we would say kind of like that dorsiflexion. Dorsi meaning the top of the foot, and then we're getting a nice big release in the plantar side of the foot. And so hopefully you're starting to feel some opening through this. Now another option is if you say you need more dorsi, or you could do this as well, feeling a nice stretch to the front of the ankle. That's another option for you. I would say definitely do both is great. Feeling my quads there a little too. Okay. Okay, second exercise for your feet. We're moving on. Okay, I know some of us hate feet. We hate feet, but we're gonna take our socks off here. Socks coming off. Coming off. Okay. Now, feet are so important, and it's so important that we get movement between joints. So we use our hands a lot, and we got a lot of space between our fingers, right? And that's because they're very dexterous words. Apes, right, have basically feet for hands, and they're able to pick things up. And it's so important that we as humans also are able to pick things up and use our feet. So we're going to focus on creating space between the toes. Now, if you can see, which you probably can't, I have my toes painted for spring. You know, you gotta live a little sometimes. You gotta be a little different. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take our hands, and we're gonna place them in between the toes. I might move a little closer to the camera here. Take our feet, hands, right here. Okay, now this might be difficult for some. So if you can, maybe just like 2 fingers to start, and then as we continue to do this, I say do a little more. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take our fingers in between our hands. Now already for some of us, this may feel like a stretch in the bottom of the foot. We're starting to open up the muscles in between. So important, so important. Okay. Starting to open up those muscles. Now, I like to kind of create a little movement through those joints, so forward and back. Right? Getting the, what we say, our metatarsals starting to move a little. As well, maybe kind of going, rotating, getting that foot to rotate, because it's so important that we get that foot to move up. Right? We want to load it to explode. Load to explode. Rotate, and then if you want even, you can do a little like ankle circles. Oh yeah, oof. Feeling some like snap and crackles in there. Working through some issues in the tissues, as they say. Oh yeah, that's good. Ooh. Okay, and we would technically do that for both sides. I'm going to quickly do it for this side, and then we'll wrap it up. So this is the first of 4 in our series of mobility drills. Oh wow, this foot needs it. Shoot. This is the first of 4 of our mobility drills here, so hopefully you enjoy this. We got more to come on the thoracic spine, hips, and feet. The all-important feet, don't forget about it. So be sure to check back in, and again, feel free to leave me some feedback below in the video, and if there's anything that you want to see, let me know. Enjoy!